and welcome to another speed build with The Sims. This house is another tiny house. I've been kind of really into those. Not like a traditional tiny house. It doesn't follow like the 32 tile rule or anything like that. But in this neighborhood in Willow Creek, I've really been interested in the idea of trying to build tiny houses with really pretty outdoor spaces because so many Sims walk around out here, and I want to use some of the new neighborhood stories and things like that have been coming out. They've been really kind of beefing that up. And so I've been working in this neighborhood. This house is not what I intended to build though. There should have been a video out before, probably a couple videos ago, I'm not sure what order they all go out in, where the house to the right, which you might see, was built, and it's kind of got a little bit more of like a Pacific Northwest vibe to it. That's actually what I was going for with this house. I was going to try to keep them all in theme, and I really don't know what happened, but I like this house a lot. It kind of just very quickly took on a mind of its own, ended up much more stones and much more neutral and a little bit more modern. I want to do another house sort of in this shape, these like cubes stacked on top of cubes look. I really like that, but I want to see if I can't do it in like maybe bright colors or something like that next time. But I really like how this one turned out. I love when builds take on a mind of their own. Sometimes it's really annoying because sometimes, like the one that I called it like the Enigma or Pandora's box or something like that. I made a joke out of it because it's a really cute cottage on the outside, and then inside it got like kind of industrial modern. I like when builds take on a mind of their own and they kind of tell me what they want to be, but on the same hand, sometimes it's like, really? That's not what I was building. Oy. But in this case, I really like the way this one turned out, and I actually like the inside and the outside match, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, and the outdoor space, not as in view as some of the other ones are. Like, obviously Sims would have to walk around back, but there's that walking trail back there, so like if you were out enjoying your space and your friend walked by, you could be like, hey friend, it still works. And then there's another video that should be coming out shortly after this one, if not directly after this one, where I build a third house, small little house, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna put like a little park or something in here, which I say that and then I'll come through and like completely tear it apart and do something else later, because I always end up using the same lots. But I'm really kind of into the idea of like a small little set. I keep calling them starter homes. That doesn't make sense though, because they're all very expensive, because I don't pay attention to that when I'm building. I just build for aesthetics, if you will. Which is fun, and that's the way I like to build, because then I can just do whatever I want. But I have been thinking maybe it's time to come back to this neighborhood and do something similar, but like actual starter builds, and actually maybe do, what is it called? The word just went in my head. A base game. Like maybe base game only builds. I've never really tried to do that, short of when the game first came out, we only had base game. So I'm wondering if that would be fun and something interesting to try, like a little bit of a challenge, you know? I definitely rely on the packs very heavily. There's a couple of packs. I think it's like Pets and, is it no, it's not Parenthood. What's the big one called? Oh no. What's the big one called? I don't remember now. The one that came with like Seasons, there we go. Seasons I rely on a ton. I love their windows. Oh my goodness, I can never remember pack names. But, and then because I use them so interchangeably, there's windows where I'm like, that's absolutely a Seasons window. It's not, it's something completely else. And I also rely on Get Famous a lot because I love the mid-century modern furniture in that pack, which is funny because I've never done the actor career, and I really haven't played a ton with the influencer career. I keep creating Sims to be influencers, and I never do anything with it. So I should mess with that pack more in terms of actual gameplay, because I've heard it's very, very fun. But yeah, so this house, going back to this build, actually, it turned out a little bit different than that. I said it wasn't really Pacific Northwest inspired, and it's not, except for it kind of is a little bit. A lot of the commercial buildings where I lived in, like a suburb of Seattle, were kind of like this with a lot of grays and stones. In fact, the junior college that I went to was all gray and green with stonework, and I took a class called Geologic Catastrophes, which, unsurprisingly, based on the name, was a little bit of a downer class, but it was also really fascinating. And the first day in that class, we walked around that campus. I'm not joking. My professor was like, all right, field trip. We're walking around the campus. We walked all around the campus, and he pointed out to every building, and he was like, this is how this building would kill you in an earthquake. This is how this building will kill you in an earthquake. And then he pointed to, like, their brand new fancy gym that they had just built because they had a partnership with, like, a big university in the area. And he was like, that building will kill you without an earthquake. That is actively sliding down the hill. And we were like, oh no. So I didn't go in that building anymore after that. I actively avoided the gym, which I did before anyway, to be honest with you. But, like, I for reals avoided the gym after that. But But this building is kind of, I think, a little bit inspired by that. I do like the way the outside turned out, and I do think it fits. Please ignore it too, by the way. I keep catching myself doing it. Please ignore the sniffling today. I am unfortunately fighting a cold, and I have been fighting a cold for a while, and I kept putting off voiceovers, and I'm now officially at the point where I'm like, I have no video to post. I have to do a voiceover, so please excuse the sniffling. Unfortunately, it is a product of wintertime, and my water trough like kind of exploded itself, and so I've been like going out in very cold temperatures and getting soaked, which is not great when you already have like a little bit of a cold going on. So please ignore my gross sick noises. I would love to have not been recording a voiceover with that sound, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you try to do weekly videos. I'm also, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so excited. I have so much stuff planned for the channel, and I know I say that all the time and then nothing changes. There is some stuff in the works, because I actually had like a little bit of an epiphany of how to do a couple of different like maybe Let's Plays and stuff. Not Sims though. I want to do a little bit more variety content, and for some reason, like you can't see it because I speed this footage up, or at least most of the time you can't see it, but The Sims stutters when I record it, and I don't know what that is. I don't experience a ton of lag when I'm playing or anything like that. I mean, it's not like 4K, like amazing, obviously, I'm running it on a laptop, but I don't experience a lot of stuttering or lag or anything. Like, it's perfectly fine to play. It plays at a really nice, consistent speed, and it looks like that when I'm recording, and as soon as I go back to watch the footage, it's super duper stuttery, and I don't know what that is. And I do actually experience it a little bit in the speed builds. That's why I do speed builds and not, like, let's build together, even though I think that would be really fun, because it stutters really bad, and I don't know how to fix that, and it never does that with other games. I have other issues with other games, obviously, things like the audio not recording or whatever, but for some reason with The Sims, no matter what I do, it stutters, but only in the video. Go figure. Because that, I don't know if y'all remember, I did that one, because I lost all the footage for that one build with the loft. It was all like purples. I don't remember what that one was called. I think it was built, was that in Willow Creek or was that in Newcrest? I think that was in Newcrest. I built that one and I lost all of the footage, but it was a really pretty build, so I tried to do like the real estate walkthrough. That's why I had to do the like set camera angles and then have it slide, because I couldn't just walk through the build. It stuttered so bad, but it didn't stutter, so I recorded that whole video like twice, because I did the first video walking through it, and it was really fun. I was telling you all about it, and then I realized like this is almost unwatchable. It's like watching PowerPoint, and I don't know what that is. But I digress. So anyways, I've been trying to figure out cool things to do with the channel and variety stuff, and I'm really excited about where the channel will hopefully be going in 2022. It's going to take a while to get there, and I have so many subsequently ideas about The Sims that I want to do. I have so many build ideas. The problem I'm having right now is I have so many commercial builds. Like I have a park I want to do, public space. I have a science museum I really want to do. I have another cafe I want to do. I have a library I want to do. Actually have an idea for a bakery that I want to do. And I'm really excited about all of these, but the problem is they're all fairly big builds, and I have one big build in process I'm really excited about. I'm trying to channel the new, what Magnolia Network has started now, where I am, and so there's been a ton of Fixer Upper on, which I know Joanna Gaines is a huge inspiration in our builds anyway here, but I'm trying to do like a specific, I made like an inspiration board and everything. I'm trying to do like, this is a Joanna Gaines farmhouse. But it's giant. It got much bigger than I thought, because it's actually based on a house that they decided not to do in a recent episode. They were showing the people in the house was like too trashed. I think they do it in a later episode if I recall, but so I tried to build something kind of akin to that, and now I'm trying to furnish it, but it's turning into a giant build because everything has to go up against like this set of standards, and it's 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, I think, which is kind of big for my builds, to be honest with you. I tend to build like 1-bedroom, 1 bath, or 2-bedroom, 1 bath, which kind of makes sense with the way I play The Sims, because I have issues, it's probably just me, but I have issues with The Sims, like, if the house gets too big, they take forever to get around. Like, if it takes an hour for them to get downstairs and out to work, that can be really annoying. So I tend to build smaller, more compact houses, but I've been trying to do bigger builds too, because the other thing is, like, I really wanted to do, like, a mega mansion. I'm terrified of that idea. Terrified of it, but I really want to do something like that. So, we'll see, but the point is here is I have a ton of inspiration for builds. It's just a matter of sitting down to do it, because life is a little crazy right now, but don't we love that? Isn't it so much fun when life is a little bit crazy? All kinds of stuff going on. There's new babies in the family, and there's all sorts of fun new projects going on, and family members, you know, making huge life choices, which are really fun, and stuff like that, changing jobs, and I'm really happy with everything going on in the family, but it means there's just a lot of away from the computer time, and also work has been crazy, which I say all of the time, but work has been crazy. So going back to this build, I keep getting distracted not talking about the build. It's very open concept. It is a ladder, which means it's probably not terribly pet friendly. I didn't put pet stuff in here, but it's probably not terribly pet friendly because your pet is going to be locked off from the whole other half of the house, which is just the bedroom. But if you're like me and your Sims pets like to sleep on the bed or near their owner at night, that's a little bit annoying. I usually don't do pets in houses with ladders, but it is a ladder because it cuts down significantly on space. So the downstairs is all open concept. There is no specific dining space. It's an island. It's actually a peninsula situation, but I don't know. I feel like that works pretty well in The Sims. And personally, we don't use our dining table where I live. We do a lot of like eating on our desks or eating in the living room all together for a new family night. But our dining room is more of a project space. To be honest with you, it's always got stuff on it from projects or from work. It's rarely actually used for dining, and I think I definitely bring that into The Sims where I'm like, they'll just eat in the kitchen, it's cool. And honestly, like every time I player test anyway, The Sims automatically path to the couch. They are definitely my kind of people, because they're like, no, we're absolutely just gonna eat at the couch. So that works. And they're sitting there holding their plate and eating, which to me cracks me up because I put mine in my lap or balance it on a dog or something, but yeah, so I don't, especially in these tiny houses, I rarely do, like, actual dining space. I really like a good peninsula or a good island for sitting and eating. Plus, to me, I don't know, like, when I lived with my aunt for a while, she had a big old island. She didn't have, like, eating space there. It was just an island for cooking. But we all just congregated around that island and just did the lean, after, like, work and school and stuff. Because I stayed with her my senior year at school because housing was a bit of a problem and she let me have space, which I appreciate. But she we ate there and there weren't even chairs. Like, they had a formal dining and a breakfast nook and the island, and we always ate either at the island or in the living room. And I was like, we actually have collectively like 14 chairs and 2 tables to possibly eat at, because she had one of those like kind of fancy houses. And we always ate in the living room. Just always in the living room. This house ended up very green, which I like. I really enjoy greens in The Sims. I think it's because their greens are usually more compatible than their other colors. Like, I love some of the pinks in The Sims. They have, especially lately, some really pretty muted or like blush pinks. But especially when the game came out, all of their pinks were like Disney Channel pinks. Like, that might be a little bit offensive to those who watch Disney Channel, and I apologize, but it's like that hot, like, pop star pink, that like really intense, like middle school pink, which is not really my thing. I like pink, don't get me wrong, but I definitely am more of a blush pink kind of girl. But their greens all, for the most part, seem to have very similar undertones, and they tend to be very sagey or very sort of army green at a lot of times, which is really nice. You obviously get the really bright greens, that happens, but it's really easy to match greens most of the time, so I do tend to go with a lot of greens. Their blues are a little bit better too in that way, but purples and pinks and a lot of their reds are just like, in my opinion, really hard to match and make look good. So I tend to do greens and browns, and this house is really indicative of that. This has a really strong green undertone, but I think it's cute, and I think it really brings the indoors and outside together, which is, again, kind of what we had wanted to do. That's why we have a back door, which you'll see the outdoor space. I think I did that last, so that should be coming up. And the bathroom is just one of my standard fare bathrooms. I really need to, like, do some study work on bathrooms again. And the landscape, I've gotten really, like, kind of stuck in my landscaping. I need to work on landscapes too. Maybe I need to do another park and get into the idea of that again, because it's really hard. Like, I tend to do very sort of overgrown with planters, like, not planters, what are those called? Bushes? Oh my goodness. With hedges. Hedges is the word. There we go. With hedges up against the house. And I like that because it usually hides any weirdness with the foundations, because a lot of times the foundations don't match. But it does mean all of my landscaping looks the same. So I probably should do like a park or something to get my landscaping looking a little bit different. Although this one, I will admit, is a little bit different. There's a lot of different bushes and a lot of different flowers. The flowers end up changing colors. I went really pink with the flowers because they were pretty and there's a lot of really nice pinks. And I was trying not to get too overgrown because I was trying to find a balance between this is definitely ground cover and still cute, because I don't imagine the Sim who lives here probably spends a ton of time gardening. It doesn't really seem like their kind of thing, but I wanted it to still be cute. But here you can see I've decided fully to go entirely pink after just bashing the pinks right in this game, but they have great pink flowers. And so, went with that. And I think I used probably every pack I own to make all these flowers come together nicely. But I think actually we're starting, here we go with the patio and stuff. A nice little outdoor space, and like I said, because the walking path it doesn't snake behind this house, but it snakes kind of off to the side of this house. Your sim, while they're out there, will be able to pull neighbors in and talk to them, and the neighbors will be able to come in, and then you lead right into your kitchen, so you can entertain. There's not a barbecue, I don't believe, on this lot, but there is on the other lot. So, like, if you're doing a block party, there's a way to cook outside and stuff like that. And I do have a little bit of an entryway so that sims aren't crashing through your garden, theoretically, and stuff. And I have an outdoor drinks tray, so you can have a nice little cocktail party kind of thing. And then that table, actually, I don't know. I don't think it counts as a fireplace, so I don't think it's, like, warmth or anything, but it does light itself on fire, which is nice. So, a little bit of warm. And then, I do end up getting rid of those bushes. I love those little, what do you call them, square bushes, like the really intense hedges. But the problem is because they're so small, I tend to feel kind of bad using them in that kind of regard because they're very samey, and also there's just a lot of objects on the lot, which if you are running maybe perhaps on a smaller computer, like a Chromebook or something, it's going to lag the lot a little bit, which admittedly all of this is going to lag the lot a little bit anyway because there's a lot of flowers, but it's something like 5 or 6 of these kind of flowers versus, 18 of those little hedges, so I tend to feel bad using those hedges because I am very lucky to have a pretty, he's older now, but he's a pretty beefy little computer anyway, so... And I got really excited using this item. I don't get to use it a whole lot, and it kind of clipped into the wall just a little bit so that it looks like they're all hanging on the wall, which I really liked, and made just a little plant area so you could sit on your front porch and, yell at your neighbors as they're going by. Please hold. I don't know if you could hear that. The dog, it was asleep on my lap and just fell off my lap, so we're going to deal with that here in a second. You okay, bud? Watson is so excited about the build. He got excited and fell off my lap. He really likes this build. This is totally a Watson style build. Our little architectural critic here. So, I love the way the outdoor spaces. The outdoor spaces are actually more cluttered, I think, than the indoor spaces in this house. But I really like the way the outdoor spaces turned out. Again, because that's kind of the goal of this neighborhood. But although I will say, I do like the TV console. Because I put those flowers in there, I think that looks kind of cool. I really like this house. It's very minimal and simple and kind of cool. Do I end up switching that out? Maybe I do. Well, we'll have to see. But here's the screenshots, and I can hear the sick sounding in my voice. So I'm going to let you go here, and I hope you had a great time. I hope you liked the build. I hope you're having a great Friday, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon.